14th century, a Turkish Mongol conqueror named Timur carved out an empire stretching from the Central Asia into the Middle East and India. 2 centuries later, in Elizabethan England, Christopher Marlowe dramatized this figure in his play Tamburlaine the Great, turning him into Tamburlaine, a heroic figure of ambition, rhetoric, and violent conquest. This juxtaposition of Eastern conquest and Western literary imagination offers a unique window into how the Renaissance conceived the idea of the hero, of human potential, and of power. In this video, we will tell you about 3 particular threads. Number 1, the historical Timur and his significance. Number 2, Marlowe's Tamburlaine as a Renaissance heroic ideal. And number 3, the tensions and legacy, how the figure of Tamburlaine reflects Renaissance humanism, ambition, and the cost of power. Timur was born around 1336 near Kish, which is modern-day Uzbekistan, and died in 1405 near Otrar, which is modern-day Kazakhstan. He rose from relatively humble origins, a Turco-Mongol warrior leader, and gradually amassed power through military genius, alliance building, and ruthless campaigns across Persia, the Caucasus, India, Syria, and beyond. One of his most famous victories took place in 1402 at the Battle of Ankara, where he defeated the Ottoman Sultan Bayezid I, momentarily halting Ottoman advance into Europe. Timur's rule combined vast military conquest with grand patronage of culture, architecture, and learning. His dynasty, the Timurid, became known for fostering the arts and urban growth in Central Asia. Yet, equally, his campaigns were marked by extreme violence and mass destruction. In European writings of the 16th century, Timur was often depicted not just as a conqueror, but as a providential figure, ironically celebrated by Christian writers for halting the Turks. In short, the real Timur embodies an extreme figure of power, from marginal origin to global domination. But historically, he has been complex, both a patron and a destroyer. Christopher Marlowe's Tamburlaine the Great is not simply a biography, but a dramatized construction of heroism, ambition, and rhetoric. Written about 1587 and first performed by the Admiral's men, it retells a loose version of Timur's rise, starting as a shepherd or a bandit figure and rising to dominance over Persia, Turkey, and beyond. Marlowe's Tamburlaine exemplifies many features of the Renaissance heroic ideal. Number 1, ambition and transformation. The play opens with Tamburlaine's defiant promise. "We'll lead you to the stately tent of war, where you shall hear the Scythian Tamburlaine threatening the world with high, astounding terms." He transcends his low birth and aims to reshape the world, a core feature of Renaissance humanism that man is not bound by his origins. Number 2, human potential and mastery. The Renaissance emphasized human ability, reason, rhetoric, and the transformation of the world. Tamburlaine's rhetoric, military genius, and self-assertion reflect that. Scholars observe that by depicting Tamburlaine, Marlowe displayed the Renaissance spirit incisively and vividly. Number 3, rhetoric and eloquence. Tamburlaine is invested with dynamic language and poetic blank verse. Marlowe's mighty line set the tone for Elizabethan drama. Number 4, questioning of divine order. The hero challenges not just earthly kings, but divine authority. In the play, he says things like, "Though Mars himself and all the earthly potentates conspire, yet will I wear it in despite of them." That rebellious assertion, central to Tamburlaine, draws directly on Renaissance concerns of individual will and agency. Yet at the same time, Tamburlaine is morally ambivalent. He massacres, humiliates enemies, imprisons Emperor Bayezid in a cage, kills his own son for cowardice. These monstrous acts clash with the idea of the virtuous hero. So Marlowe's hero stands at the following intersection: epic ambition, and rhetorical mastery, Renaissance virtues, but also unbounded violence and hubris, classical or tragical flaws. From the Renaissance viewpoint, Tamburlaine functions as both a celebration of human potential and a warning against its excess. Scholars call this Herculean ambivalence, the idea that heroes' very power become his undoing. On one side, Tamburlaine's rise affirms humanist ideals. The man who remakes his destiny, escapes his origin, challenges convention. On the other side, his destructive cruelty reveals the cost of overreaching power, a frequent concern of Renaissance thinkers who criticized unbounded ambition. Marlowe's portrayal is informed by the Elizabethan context, a fascination with the East, the Turks, and the idea of crusade or conquest. One article notes how Tamburlaine was read as a product of European historians who saw his victory over the Turks as providential for Christendom. Thus, his figure serves not just as a hero, but as an ideological tool for English self-conception in relation to the East. The play itself transformed English drama. The use of blank verse, large-scale spectacle, the public stage, bold heroic figures. Marlowe broke from early Tudor conventions and paved the way for Shakespeare and the others. Tamburlaine influenced numerous characters of ambition and defiance, including Shakespeare's early histories. His portrayal of human greatness and monstrous will remains a striking example of Renaissance drama's complexity. When we label Tamburlaine, or rather Marlowe's representation of him, a Renaissance hero, we mean the following. Renaissance culture emphasized human experience, reason, mastery of the world. Tamburlaine embodies that, from shepherd to emperor, asserting his will. The hero uses speech, persuasion, and symbol. He declares himself scourge of God, builds a chariot drawn by kings, harnessers, rulers as trophies. These are flamboyant signs of self-creation. The play uses mythic imagery, Jove, Mars, Charon, and human aspiration. The Renaissance loved classical references. Tamburlaine draws on them. Unlike simplistic medieval heroes, the Renaissance often contains contradiction. Tamburlaine's greatness is inseparable from his cruelty. He reaches superb heights, but also moral abyss, a reflection of Renaissance ambivalence about power. Europe in the 16th century was changing. Exploration, empire, human debate, new science. Tamburlaine symbolizes that dynamic change, the world remade by man. Scholars write that the desire for infinite knowledge in the play reflects Renaissance humanism. Today, Tamburlaine can be seen under multiple lights. On one reading, he is an avatar of limitless ambition, reminding us how power can be corrupt. On another, he is a figure of human potential, daring, innovative, reshaping his era. The play invites both admiration and horror. For a modern audience, and especially for a history or political culture channel, Tamburlaine's story raises questions. What does it mean to be your hero? Is it simply conquest and dominion, or responsibility and transformation? How do cultural values reshape what we call heroic? The Renaissance hero was not just the warrior, but the thinker, the rhetorician, the man who challenged the cosmos. In post-colonial perspective, Marlowe's representation also invites critique. The appropriation of an Asian conqueror into English drama and ideology reflects how history can be shaped by other storytelling. Scholars of English trade and politics show how Tamburlaine was used to symbolize England's ambitions with the East. In the figure of Tamburlaine, we see the meeting point of two eras, the late medieval world of steppe empires and the high ambition of the English Renaissance. Marlowe took the historical Timur and crafted a hero whose ambition, eloquence, and violence captured the spirit of his age. He embodied human potential, the power of the individual, and also the danger of unbounded will. As a Renaissance hero, Tamburlaine shows us both what the era admired and what it feared. He is a man who rose from nothing, who remade the world by his word and sword, yet also one who paid the price of greatness through cruelty, hubris, and moral cost. In the end, his legacy is not unambiguous triumph but a warning. Greatness and destruction often trade places.